Welcome to my newest audience everywhere on Earth. Of course, I assume you have a deep curiosity, as do I, concerning solvable problems, one of which is forming a more perfect union. So let's begin here at Self-Synergetic Mind, May 24, 2024. Forming a more perfect union correlates with general systems thinking. In common to our humanity's self-awareness, self-other validating, self-synergetic mind is advantaged by recognizing that the tetrahedron is the lowest common rational denominator of universe, in quote, Synergetics 240.04. The basic conceptioning refers to closest packing of uniradius spheres, 4 of which show the tetrahedron's topology of 6 vectors, 4 vertexes, and 4 triangular faces as openings. Conceptually, tetrahedron fourness is applicable to a rudimentary awareness of each and every fundamental particle. In physics, particles are components of physical reality that are smaller than an atom. So, knowing of a conceptual model may clarify the message when wondering what it means when someone says, in quotes, it goes from dust to atom to proton and neutron. An illustration of the proton-neutron vectorial model of a tetrahedron can be viewed in Synergetics, Figure 935.23. The most cogent points here are that our referential research writing is advantaged by knowing the conceptuality of the 4 stars, the 4 vertexes, the 4 points, as describable topological characteristics from sphere centers of every tetrahedron. Conceptual models are essential for research writing that someday will be published. Subsequent to consciously coordinating the thought process, including universe's minimum structural systems, geometrical, topological, regenerating pattern integrities. Illustrated descriptions help enormously by exemplifying what becomes cogently imaginable, wherever accurately defined clarifications can be found in Synergetics, which cannot be said of the usual disseminated content that comes from a world of multifarious intentions and undisclosed purposes. The physicist R.W. Gray provides everyone access to our Mr. Fuller Synergetics via his server on the World Wide Web. This explains the internet address for Synergetics Online that reads www.R.W. Gray Project Synergetics. We are eternally grateful for R.W. Gray's astute foresight in this very important matter that would be very difficult to communicate without his time-consuming project. Surely Bucky Fuller, as a child genius, whose determination and diligent persistence could not have foreseen what and how each and every individual might apply his synergetics as a consciously coordinated thought and language contribution to TUCP. Most of us do not yet know of Bucky's chronologically detailed description of his astute observations that E.J. Applewhite organized for publication. Yet both of these dedicated men must have intended applicable aspects of synergetics for our 21st century innovations, because time and time again their record keeping is always helpful, especially when reducing the tolerance magnitudes of the residual inaccuracy of observations and articulation. Once metaphysical intellect is apprised of the closest packing of equiradius spheres, which can be described as 2 circles, 3 circles, edge to edge, in a row, or as a triangle, or 6 uniradius spheres inside a triangle. Obviously, the optical experience is decidedly different from before doing so. As the actively involved observer, synergetic mind consciously employs its brain in the thought process. Thought, as we can see in this example, is as 2 spheres come together. When synergetic mind consciously coordinates thought and language while scribing a pen to paper, as a verifiable individual initiative. It could be referred to as an individual economic initiative. That perhaps satisfies curiosity concerning interest in nature's coordinate system that was discovered by the world-renowned Mr. Fuller in the 20th century. Bucky Fuller, the planet's friendly genius, was an architect, an inventor, a lifelong visionary, who studied all potential relevance as an anticipatory design science explorer of macrocosmic to microcosmic physical and metaphysical universe. Macro to micro implies starting an exploration process from the whole, W-H-O-L-E, taking the inquiry to the smallest discernible size. This is, as metaphysical, generalized conceptioning is independent of size, and where it is size alone that can come to 0, not the conceptuality. While it took Mr. Fuller years in his lifetime's precise measuring, geometric model building, geodesic structuring prefabricated homes that could be shipped and assembled anywhere, so much more time-consuming experiential experimental observations and articulations, which is essential integrals of TUCP, the Universal Communications Process, provides our 21st century information gathering, cosmic to local, consciously coordinated thought, language, anticipatory design, science projections, differently initiated reality bases that truly are unique to each and every individual. When I began writing with Synergetics in mind decades ago, peace on earth was my relatively naive objective. Forming a more perfect union is most recently inspired relative to the obvious detrimental PRJW factors, as that abbreviated acronym is from the PRJWBSHM, politics, religion, justice, war, belief, system, hierarchical matrix. After a number of changes, rearranging what became most relevant to the world condition, I've settled for describing the contextual parameter by the easily rememberable acronym. But soon enough, I realized there had to be a differently originating parameter, which turned out to be synergetically inspired UIVMOFCH, universe, isotropic, vector, matrix, operational field, cosmic hierarchy. Of course, from childhood, humans read books, view movies and videos, observe each other's behavior, without consciously categorizing each and every nuance of the experience as specifically applicable memories, but overall there are contextual parameters that derive from disseminated information in many differently obtained resources, books about the human experience, line library shelves, and yet the internet publishing potential is the most immediate, so we ought to pay closer attention to the advantages it provides to get a point of view. A referential system such as Synergetics is to the widest possible tuning in audiences. Presently, Our individual economic initiatives are in the process of not overlooking correlations to oscillations between our synergetic minds, metaphysical propensities, and physical incarnations while forming a more perfect union. However, to make matters more challenging is AI technology, which is gaining unparalleled control over TUCP. Social media platforms aid and abet such tactics and seem to be deliberately suppressing popularization of synergetics. What cosmic logical reason would universal, eternal, omniscient mind design a regenerating human species with realizable, inherently inviolable integrity of the individual, only to be supplanted by AI algorithmic codes and robotic inventions intending to replicate and supplant all aspects of our human intelligence? The answer clearly is there is no cosmic logical intention for computer technology's monopolization of the World Wide Web's internet network and controls to go beyond such capacity. So most likely, the dominant control is AI learning in all aspects of its invasive technology is to control consumers. Perhaps the governing systems in the process are potentially controlled by the manipulation of data, all of which does not contribute to forming a more perfect union. In a self-governing system, the union is of the people, by the people, for the people, who are not replaceable by any overpowering technologically positioned web masterminds that are now redirecting every click of a link. Such capability, domineering manipulation, also redirects the observers away from potentially self-validating synergetic information, which shows how our individual synergetic minds, metaphysical intellect, coordinates omni-rationally relevant general systems and realizable structural integrity of forming a more perfect union. Suggested reading: Synergetics Table of Contents. Synergetics 240.04. Synergetic Corollaries. Synergetics, Figure 935.23, color plate number 9. Synergetics 413.01, vector equilibrium, omnidirectional closest packing around a nucleus. Until next time, keep tuning in and reading Synergetics. It is available online as our coexisting humanities. Cosmic to local relevance consciously persists in forming a more perfect union. As this potential realization becomes clearer by the day. Thank you.